The latest threat, and the most serious threat we've seen, is the appointment of Betsy DeVos as Secretary of Education. She is the first Secretary of Education in our history who is actively hostile to public education. We've never had this before. In Michigan, under DeVos's leadership, it has many, many charters, and the Detroit Free Press, the major newspaper in that state, said that the charter sector is an unaccountable industry that costs the state of Michigan, that costs the taxpayers $1 billion a year, and performs worse than the public schools. Charter schools have high attrition rates. They keep out the kids who have disabilities that need extra care. They push out the kids who are English language learners. They push out the kids who are behavior problems. We see these chains of 50 schools, 100 schools, coming in and becoming the neighborhood public school. We cannot have a situation where corporate charter chains take over our community schools. That's wrong. That destroys what the public school is all about, which is building a sense of community, having a sense of democracy at the local level, having people from different backgrounds coming together to solve problems and learn how to be citizens. Betsy has done us the favor of taking away the false veneer of progressivism from charter schools. The voucher system in DC, which is held up now as a model, causes kids to actually lose ground. They enter low performing and they become even lower performing. The achievement gaps here are the largest of any city in the country. The privatization movement, charters and vouchers, is moving forward full speed ahead, defunding public schools, using test scores to say public schools aren't good enough. The question before us is how can we stop this steamroller that's destroying the public sector, that wants to privatize everything, that wants to turn us from citizens into consumers. That's the great hoax that's being played on the public now, is to say you have to make the choice. But the truth is, when the schools are privatized, it's the schools that make the choice, not the parents. My father was a high school dropout. My mother was an immigrant from Bessarabia. She came to Houston when she was 9 years old, and she learned to be an American. She learned to speak English, and her proudest possession was her high school diploma from the Houston Public Schools. And I owe a debt, and I'm trying to spend my remaining years preventing privateers and entrepreneurs from taking public education away from the public. We will not let DeVos create a free market in our community. We don't want a free market. We want a public school that serves the community. The only thing that can stop them is an organized and dedicated and passionate resistance. In a way, I guess I have to say thank you, Betsy DeVos. You have awakened the resistance.